Alright, here's the deal. If we want to create authentic, real boom bap, real 90s style or 80s boom bap, we need to understand what makes it authentic. How can we be completely authentic in our beat making? Now this is going to be the real way, the actual real way to make actual 90s boom bap. So, to define this in the simplest way possible, everything we do has to be something that was possible in the 90s. So, that means the records we sample. If the records weren't around in the 90s, fuck them. If this turntable didn't exist, if it didn't exist in the 90s, then it's not authentic. It's not real, authentic 90s shit because it didn't exist. If you want to guarantee that your shit is authentic and real every single time, no matter what, if you have gear and all the samples you use are things that existed in the 90s, your shit is going to be authentic. Now, here's the deal. Shit from the 90s is expensive. This machine, my shit's technically not purely authentic because this machine was made in like 2000. My other gears also like early 2000s. I think this turntable's 2002. This thing's like maybe like 2009, but for the most part, this machine is limited enough that it has most of the same limitations as the older machines that people are using in the 90s. Once I have the money to afford it, I will actually get a machine that existed, maybe a fucking SB1200 or a ASR10 or some shit. But anyways, one of the defining sounds of authentic boom bap is the fact that it is heavily limited. The limitations are what make the sound the sound. The fact that you can't do crazy stuff so you have to make simple beats. You have to sample banging drums. You have to sample dope shit and do fairly simple things with them. So it places a heavy importance on the sampling. So your samples are important. Like this, great record, great samples, 72. I can load this up. I can take one loop it, and then I can take a break, load it in, loop it, boom. If I find a sample that loops, and I find a drum loop that loops, and they loop together and they fit nicely, boom, you got a fucking authentic banger. So, that's the reason. Even a machine like this thing is too new. It makes my beats sound too new. So that's why I'm using this. Also, this is just more appealing. But this thing is limited enough that it makes my shit sound actually authentic. This thing, I have too much control with this, and it's nice in the sense that I can do more. I can actually make my beats better with this machine, but in turn, it makes them sound less authentic, which, in my personal preference, I think is worse, because I want to make authentic boom bap. I want to make the real shit, the real actual 90s sound. I don't want a 90s sound that's actually a 2010 take on it. I want the real deal, the actual shit. So if you don't have the money to afford the gear, shit is expensive. But I would advise that you save up. If you really are serious and you're really committed, get a turntable, just get one that looks old or get one that's new. It doesn't really matter. The main thing that matters is the records that you sample. Get records. If it existed before the 90s, good to go. But also late 60s, early 70s. So like, boom, this banger. Why? Because this is the type of material that people would have been sampling. It's Lou Rawls. It's from 71. I have no idea what the sound is going to be on here, but I can almost guarantee that I can find a good, authentic sounding, not even authentic sounding, an actual authentic sample on here. Because this is the real deal. This is the actual thing. This is the actual piece of material that they would have used in that time. So yeah, we don't want to get an authentic boom bap sound. We want to do it authentically. We want to actually do it. We don't want to have a super good boom bap sounding beat. We want to have a real boom bap beat, not an attempt. And the thing about this is that we can have a shit beat and it's still authentic. Even if our skill is lacking, we still have the authentic sound because we're using the authentic materials and the authentic process. So you don't need to be good to make authentic beats. You don't need to have skill to have an authentic sound. Fucking, yeah. Peace.